For the sake of this video, I'm just going to assume that everybody watching this has already seen all of the amazing games that were shown off at the Xbox Game Showcase. But what about the Summer Game Fest, or Day of the Devs? And what about the cuddly cozy games on display at Wholesome Direct? Well, in case you missed out on your next favourite game, here's a full list of all of the Xbox titles from the other shows that are set to arrive this year. Let's kick it off with something you guys have been asking us a lot in the comments, and I'm pleased to announce, yes, it's finally happening. Go on, Bex, tell them.
PC Game Pass members have been enjoying Riot's free-to-play 5v5 shooters, a full complement of agents. They've been absolutely a running riot, and now console players are going to get in on the act too. Valorant is coming to an Xbox console near you real soon, with a limited beta set to kick off on June 14th. This is no rush job though, the game has been cleverly retooled to suit console players, with a brand new aiming mode called Focus to help those using a gamepad to blast their enemies to bits with the same comfort and ease as the mouse and keyboard crowd.
I've picked up on something that's a bit of a trend in games. We are always having to save the human race. I mean, those bozos are absolutely useless. And surprise, surprise, we're going to be doing it all over again in the first Descendant. This is a free-to-play game, and it's a sci-fi looter shooter that lets up to 4 players band together to defeat their foes, but includes some absolutely ginormous bosses. I mean, look at the size of that geezer. This is exactly the kind of thing that I'd love in a game like Destiny, so it's really cool to see it playing out here. Every player on the team is going to be kitted out with very, very upgradable exosuits, as well as a bunch of high-tech gizmos that have elemental powers, there are futuristic weapons, and good old grappling hooks. I mean, they just make every game better. The trailer they rolled at Summer Game Fest confirms basically what we already knew, and that's that the first Descendant just looks like a lot of fun, while also adding in an important new piece of information, the release date, which is in a matter of mere days actually, July 2nd, so lock it in.
There's more free-to-play fun to be had this July. Marvel Rivals has an open beta on the way, and it's officially coming to Xbox consoles. This PvP team ability shooter features a wicked lineup of comic book heroes for you to play as. Loki will be up to his usual tricks, Spider-Man will be slinging webs, Iron Man will be nano-beaming everything, and Hulk, well, Hulk smash. You'll be grateful for all that firepower too, since the game's story involves multiple Doctor Dooms arriving from multiple multiverses to wreak all sorts of havoc. Safe to say, these battles are going to be spectacular. Which Caped Crusader or devious supervillain are you planning on playing as? Hit the comments to let us know.
Oh, now this one really caught my eye. In Nobody Wants to Die, the year is 2329, and humanity has cracked the code to eternal life. Although, a lot of people still seem to be turning out dead, so, you know, riddle me that. And obviously, popping your clogs is pretty bad news for them, but it is kind of a win for you, given that you're a homicide detective, so earn your paycheck. It's a first-person adventure, and you're going to be tracking down a notorious serial killer who's been targeting members of high society. At each crime scene, you're going to have access to futuristic time-bending technology, allowing you to reconstruct events and figure out what happened. Combine that with a bit of good old gumshoe detective work, and you might be able to figure out why it happened as well. Clever. I'm so keen for this one because ever since I first played L.A. Noire, I've just really been craving another detective story to play through, and Nobody Wants to Die looks like the perfect way to do it, especially with that kind of cyberpunk genre on top of it. Gorgeous. Anyway, it's going to be arriving on July 17th, so not too long to wait for that one.
Oh, we just love a day one addition to Game Pass here at Xbox On, especially one that we don't have to wait too long for at all. We're impatient like that. Which is why we're so stoked to find out that Kunitsu-gami, Path of the Goddess, is coming out on July 19th. We caught a glimpse of this at the partner preview earlier this year, but now we're even more psyched. Capcom's new game draws on Japanese folklore to deliver an action-packed tower defense game like no other. The visuals look bright and beautiful, the combat looks enticingly innovative, the bad guys look delightfully weird. It really is the full package.
So apparently Deadlink was one of 2023's hottest shooters, and it combined cyberpunk style with antic first-person action and just rolled the whole thing up into a delightfully Moorish roguelike package. Now people have already been enjoying it on PC and getting to grips with its high-energy combat in which the player is always outnumbered but rarely outgunned, and on July 30th, well, Xbox Series X and S players are going to get to jump into the fray as well. So combine that futuristic razzle-dazzle of cyberpunk with the build tinkering game loops of, I don't know, Hades or Enter the Gungeon, and hey, the future's bright, shiny, and covered with blood thanks to Deadlink. Cheers, guys.
You can't keep a good Viking down, and more than a decade after his first raid, Volgar will be returning for a new adventure on August 6th. Volgar the Viking 2 looks set to provide action platformer fans with another tough 2D challenge as they battle their way through a brutal world inspired by Norse mythology. Precision is key here, with one wrong move all but certain to result in Volgar's untimely death. If you've honed your joystick skills on 80s arcade classics, then you'll be right at home with Volgar. If not, well, expect to do a fair bit of practicing before you earn your place in Valhalla.
Now let's chat about The Precinct, which brings the cops and robbers fun of a GTA game, except here you're playing as the folks in blue. Set in the gritty streets of the 1980s, it is a sandbox game and it challenges you to restore peace and order no matter how many reckless downtown shootouts or pedestrian endangered car chases it takes. The city's crimes are also procedurally generated as well, which is a really cool feature because you're never going to know where you're going to get called out to next. So, safe to say, The Precinct is pretty high up on our most wanted list, and we know exactly when it's arriving now as well, thanks to this new update, which is August 15th. Class.
You can expect a chill in the air this summer with Numata on the way to Xbox Series X, S, and PC. Taking its lead from classic survival horror games, the first-person game drops the player into a world where everything is dark, cold, and suspiciously wet. From the weird blobs of flesh clinging to the walls to the killer mutants on the rampage and the giant spiders scuttling across below, you really can't turn a corner in Numata without encountering something dangerous and really gross. It's a truly nerve-wracking experience, but the chance to make all those nasty things go splat with a shotgun or a crowbar does kind of make up for it. After taking a few years out to eat some senzu beans and recuperate, Dragon Ball's Budokai Tenkaichi series returns with Sparking Zero on October 11th. This 3D fighting game perfectly captures the exhilarating action of the anime series, with all the Super Saiyan mid-battle transformations and wildly over-the-top special moves that you could expect. The Sparking Zero roster is packed with characters from across the various Dragon Ball eras, and is harnessing the power of the Xbox Series X and S to deliver some absolutely stunning anime-style visuals too. Looks like the series might just hit a whole new power level with this one.
This announcement really excites me because I just love seeing more MMOs hit console, and on October 15th we're going to be setting sail for the new world of Eternum in New World Eternum. This is an epic action RPG where players will just get to explore a beautiful island full of magic and mystery. Honestly, it's really cool that you get this kind of pirate vibes with a bit of magic. Super into it. Oh, and don't worry if it sounds like a lot of legwork, because you'll have the chance to travel by mount by saddling up horses, dire wolves, and even lions. And when it comes to Eternum's less obliging creatures, you're going to get to combine gunplay, melee attacks, and magic to defeat your enemies. And you don't have to do it alone either, with online co-op for up to 10 players. So tag all your mates that you want to play New World with, and do you mind if I join as well, actually?
Sonic and Shadow's relationship can be a bit prickly, but they're teaming up on October 25th for an exciting new title that blends new and classic content called Sonic X Shadow Generations. The game includes a full remaster of the time-bending adventure, Sonic Generations, which saw the beloved blue guy speeding through a selection of 2D and 3D stages from past games. It was kind of like a greatest hits collection, and now it's even greater. And that's especially true because now players will also have the chance to play as Shadow, wielding his Doom powers and just generally being a too cool for school sad boy hedgehog.
Unless you live in a really small village, October might feel like kind of a long time to wait for a bus. But what if the bus was full of ripe, juicy fruit? Well, Fruit Bus is a culinary adventure where you get to explore a series of colourful islands, rustling up some new ingredients and just using them to craft all sorts of delicious new dishes. You can try your hand at some established recipes and just try to make them picture perfect, or, go with your gut and just see what you come up with. Either way, you're sure to attract all sorts of customers, each with their own unique story, which they'll be happy to share with you. After they've eaten, obviously. It reminds me a bit of that coffee talk game that hit Game Pass not too long ago. And that one was a lot of fun, so I'm keen for Fruit Bus. Can't wait to see more.
Slitterhead is a horror-infused third-person action game that looks every bit as freaky as you'd expect a game from the creator of Silent Hill to be. It revolves around an intriguing possession mechanic which sees the player hopping between different bodies, crafting weapons out of the blood, bones, and other assorted bodily bits of their temporary hosts. I guess when there are giant insect monsters everywhere, you fight with whatever is at hand, or at foot, or torso, or any other part of your anatomy. Slitterhead basically looks like someone Frankenstein together the control anyone ethos of a Watch Dogs game with the gnarly action of something like Prototype or Carrion, and it will be released on November 8th.
Here's something that might just be the biggest horror crossover since Freddy met Jason. The casting of Frank Stone sees the Dark Pictures anthology devs Supermassive sneaking on over into the Dead by Daylight universe. And specifically, they're going to go to a little town in Oregon where 4 young filmmakers are just trying to craft their own horror masterpiece inside an abandoned steel mill. It's summertime, the weather's hot, the location's remote, and yeah, you can see where this is going, can't you? Get ready for another one of Supermassive's spine-tingling tales, complete with branching narratives and pulse-quickening QTEs, which will determine which characters survive and which characters very much do not. Grizzly.
The creators of Gree are back with another gorgeous, emotionally charged game to treat your eyes and break your heart. Neva stars a young woman named Alba and the wolf cub that she's been bound to as they embark on a dangerous journey through a decaying world. Their relationship will grow with each obstacle they overcome, but will their bond be able to survive everything the world throws at them? You'll find out later in 2024 when Neva arrives. In the meantime, you can check out Gree from the Game Pass library.
This one kind of took me a bit by surprise with the direction that they're going with, but you know what? I'm into it. Later this year, players will get to experience an epic tale of love, death, and funny little tunics with the medieval action RPG Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And it's set in a beautifully recreated version of 15th century Bohemia and lets players just roam freely around, stopping in at local taverns, nice, chatting to the peasants and nobles alike. Oh, and by the way, if someone says something that you don't like, that's going to give you a chance to try out the game's meaty brand of first-person combat, which offers a huge range of historically accurate ways to beat your foes into a bloody pulp. If you loved the first game but maybe wanted a bit more humor out of it, well, it looks like this one's definitely going to deliver on this one. Yeah? Okay.
All the places you'll go in Unknown 9 Awakening. Not only does this third-person adventure allow you to hop into a parallel dimension known as The Fold, it also lets you go to places like Portugal. The reality-bending powers on display here are sure to delight fans of games like Control, and the visuals look pretty stunning, really bringing to life the diverse range of environments you'll be traveling through as you uncover a story filled with secrets and suspense. Unknown 9 Awakening will arrive later this year, and no, you don't have to play Unknowns 1 through 8 first. Don't worry.
Obviously, we are going to have a lot more to say about all of these games and more in the run-up to their release and as they arrive, so be sure to subscribe and ring that bell if you don't want to miss those ones too. Bye!